annual my Ariel and my joint annual pledge should be. I thought it should be, of course, generous but affordable, but also in line with what other people typically pledged. And I had no idea about that. What was the smallest pledge? What was the largest pledge? What was the average pledge? I didn't know. And so I boldly and bluntly asked. And being fairly wonky about all of this, I asked again about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I got some answers. And I want to display some of that on a chart for you here. You probably can't see these numbers very well, but these yellow bars represent different ranges of pledges. This first bar is pledges from 0 up to about $1,500. The next is from about $1,500 up to $3,000, and then $3,000 up to $4,800, and so forth, up to $7,500, up to $10,000, up to $14,000, and up to $25,000. So you see the range of pledges that we have in this church. And the remarkable thing is, for me, is that pledges in all of these ranges add up to pretty close the same total across these smaller pledges, because there are so many of them, add up to more than $60,000 a year. Same for this group, same for this group, same for this group. So the remarkable thing that this graph illustrates is how people who pledge in very different financial ranges across the spectrum all end up contributing, being part of a group that contributes almost equally to the overall support of the church. Okay, that's the end of the wonky part of my reflections, and I want to go back to the moral side of all this, the side of personal commitment and generosity, because giving is about what we value. The much admired Unitarian minister of the 19th century, Theodore Parker, said, quote, "If you want to know what a man's deepest values really are, then take a look at his account books. The way we allocate our wealth discloses what our true values are that we live by." And so in this stewardship season, we talk about money, but we talk basically about values. And we ask one another to look as faithfully as we can into what it is that we most truly and deeply value, and to put our money where our hearts are. How does this church embody and strengthen and enable each of us to multiply or amplify what we most deeply care about? And then, how much of our material treasure will we share with one another to make the life of our congregation strong and meaningful in one another's lives? One strong body, as we sang earlier. And how will that contribute to making the voice of Unitarian Universalism loud and clear in this crucial year for our community and our nation? Spring, after all, is the season to plant seeds. And in pledging our resources for the health of UUCB, we are planting seeds right now for fruits that we will harvest soon and farther into the future to come. In the words of UU poet Rick Maston, now of blessed memory, "Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Now is the time for our planting. It's up to us, each one of us, to roll up our sleeves, take out our checkbooks, pool our resources, and join with one another in planting for a harvest that we can be proud of, a harvest that will return to nourish our common life together in this beloved community, a community that will thrive and stand as a welcoming beacon for all who might want to come and join us to make the future a future in which dreams that we hold so dear are brought to reality. So may it be.
This next song, Evening Breeze, can be found in your teal hymnals, and the lyrics are also up on the screen. It's number 1072, and you're invited to sing along. I'll sing it the first time through in call and response fashion. So I'll sing a phrase, so listen first, and then you're invited to repeat it back, and then listen for the next one, repeat, listen, repeat. And then when we're through the first time through, let's sing it together several times. After a couple of times through, please keep the melody going because I'll add in some harmonies. And some of you, if you'd like to add in your own harmonies, please do so as well. Evening Breeze.
Take a deep breath with me, please, and let it out. We've gathered today as a community of care, a wide circle connected in this space and extending wide into who knows where. We devote ourselves to our own well-being, but not just ours. We devote ourselves to the well-being of all people, all beings, all life, all nature, each small pebble, the most delicate moss, the large creatures of the deep, the planets and the stars. We invite in breath, pulse, the electric messages that animate our limbs, that excite our senses. We embrace memory, joy, darkness, regret, because it is all a part of us. We bring a small smile to our faces. We summon ease. We send light and care and intention to the hard places in the world. We acknowledge suffering, and we stand close to give what support we can. Breathe out compassion. Let judgment slide away soundlessly. Let your needs be met. Drink from the well. Take the warm bread in your hands and to your tongue. Take into yourself the stillness. Let it bathe your soul. Take into yourself the stillness and the silence, and let us be there together for a time.
In this community of care and witness, we hold each other up through the seasons of our lives. We lift up today Barbara Cullinane, who lets us know that Susan Singh welcomes support as she enters into hospice. She welcomes notes and thoughts of friends. Anne Greenwood is sending healing wishes to Dick Van Divisend, former chair of UU Partner Church Council, who fractured his neck. And with Jean Gleason, who has fond memories of my childhood playmate, Roberta Bert McCarthy, who passed away last Monday. We went in very different directions, but reconnected last fall. She will be missed. David Lingenfelter and Ann Wardell are mourning the passing of their beloved dog, Gracie. And from Helen Tinsley Jones, we are so happy to welcome James Jackson back fully recovered from his illness. And gratitudes to be together gathered here. Again, all are appreciated. For all that we have said aloud, and for all that remains in the sanctuary of our hearts, may you know you are held in the loving embrace of this community. Please remain seated to join in our meditative song, Meditation on Breathing. It's number 1009 in the Teal hymnal, and the words will be on the screen.
When I breathe in, breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Was mentioned the slightly mad rantings of a bodied intellectual, part 1. I think Marcus read from this maybe in a service a couple of weeks ago. This piece is called Brain Chemistry. Pretty soon, every imaginable, wonderfully inexpressible human experience will be traced back to brain chemistry. This neuron or that dendrite is getting excited or pumping out this or that chemical in this or that location, and that is why we experience what we experience. It is already happening. Until those brainy brain guys and gals get it all together, however, I plan to just enjoy the delightful mysteries of life. And once they do get it all together, I still plan to enjoy the delightful mysteries of life. This book has a bunch of little short pieces in it. And if you look at one of the pages, you'll notice that there's once in a while there's a word that's in bold and a page number. And it actually refers to another little piece in another part of the book. So you didn't even have to read it from the beginning to the end. This is an easy read. But one of the reasons I wanted to kind of refer to this is that idea that we may not go from A to B to C to D to E is part of what I think it means to be in our bodies. Our bodies don't go from A to B to C to D to D all the time. Sometimes they go here, there, there, here, there, here, there, here, there, there, here, there, and there, and then back there, and back in there. And I think that's the way our bodies work. I brought a few copies of this, and they're for sale out in the atrium, and the proceeds will go to today's Good Neighbor Project, which is Pogo Park. God or the universe or whoever's in control of things has a sense of humor. I'm absolutely convinced of that. I was finishing up a degree at Indiana University. I'm a Hoosier, grew up in Bloomington, Indiana. I was doing an internship in Indianapolis at a community center. And one of my housemates in this community house that I was living in took me to First Mennonite Church in Indianapolis. Now, I grew up United Methodist. I had been married to a Presbyterian. I'd taught in a Catholic school. I hadn't really gone to church much during college. but I went along with him to First Mennonite Church, and it turned out to be a really wonderful place, and I ended up joining there. Now, I don't know what you know about Mennonites. Do you all know about Mennonites? But they're this really interesting, very strong community-based. They have can be very, 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 very traditional. They don't have musical instruments, and they sing four-part harmony like you wouldn't believe. So all the hymns would be sung in four parts, and everyone would sing the parts. The song leader at the church was a woman named Loretta Yoder. She also happened to be the wife of the pastor, but she was a drama teacher at Christian Theological Seminary there in Indianapolis, and she was interested, obviously, in theater and the other arts. And I had already started to kind of discover my own interest in the arts. And we started conspiring, and we played with movement, and we played with mime, and we played with music of various sorts, and we just did with visual art, all sorts of things. And I realized that I had this interest in the way that the arts and theology, or the arts and worship, of the arts and spirituality worked right together. There was something about that was really interesting and attractive to me. We talked earlier about things we like and things we don't like, and having to kind of pay attention in our bodies to what it is that excites us or interests us. And I'm just glad I had this opportunity and this collaborator to play around with the arts in worship. But here's the crazy part. I did my first liturgical dance in a Mennonite church. And there are a lot of Mennonites who don't dance. Now, this congregation was fine with it, but I could have probably gone to some other churches where they would have been surprised, at the very least, to have someone dancing. So it's just interesting to me that on this path that I've ended up for the last many years, that this happened first with movement and dance in a Mennonite church. And that was the beginning of what's ended up being kind of a life work of looking at how physicality and spirituality and all the parts of ourselves work together, and what it means to be embodied in that process, what it means to get your hands in it, whether it's through movement or through other arts, or whatever the form is to be getting involved in it in order to uncover, to reveal, to find new possibilities, to find way of saying things in different ways. And it opened up for me a whole new territory of experience and understanding. I just came to believe that there were things that I could only learn through moving. There were experiences that I could only have if I was completely involved in my physicality. I moved to California to go to graduate school, and it was kind of a weird blessing to be in this area because it turns out there was quite a large theology and arts community kind of centered around Pacific School of Religion and the Graduate Theological Union. And I met people there who were interested in similar sorts of things. I ended up getting involved in a modern dance company called Body and Soul. And with my colleagues Judith Rock and Cynthia Winton-Henry, we described ourselves as a modern dance company dealing with theological themes and images. We weren't a liturgical dance company exactly, although we did do dance in worship at times. But we were really interested in choreographing, using some of the content and the ideas and the possibilities. There's so much life in our religious traditions. There's so much meaty stuff to be playing with, and we wanted to do that in a time where dance was actually quite abstract and formal. So not so much about personhood, about spirit, about individuality, about being fully inhabited. It was more like body as shape and form. So we were a little out of step, so to speak, with some of our dance friends. We used to joke that, our company was called Body and Soul. We used to joke that we were trying to convince church people that they had bodies, and we were trying to convince dance people that they had spirits. But we were always kind of playing between those two things, that idea that we can have it all. Now, one of the pieces that we choreographed was a piece called 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. And this was a dance about the Trinity. Now, I recognize the irony of using a dance about the Trinity in a Unitarian Universalist church, but stay with me for a moment. So this was a dance about the Trinity. We started with the Nicene Creed. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of all heaven and earth. I didn't grow up with the Nicene Creed, but I got some of it in my body, even, I still remember a little bit of it from years ago. We started with that creed, and then we started messing with the words. We were just messing. We were messing and playing with it. And then to just move into the dance of these three bodies, the three of us, doing a thing about the Trinity. And I realized that was really the only way to experience the Trinity, which is a weird construct. Even I think so. But I could feel the movement of the three bodies. I could feel the possibilities moving in and out. I could feel that it was something beyond words. It was something that was woven together out of muscle and bone, and not just a whatever that is. I think that's an unembodied idea. I believe that unless we can have our full physicality, all the possibilities of what bodies do, we're missing out on something. I don't know, did any of you grow up with the World Book Encyclopedia or some other encyclopedia? Now, I don't know about other encyclopedias, but in the World Book, there was a section on the human body, and it was done on several layers of acetate. You remember that? And you would peel it away, and first it would show the different systems in the body, the muscles, and it showed the bones. And there was a page about the nervous system. And on that page, it wasn't just a brain. It was a brain and a whole system of red, snaky nerves. I don't think nerves are really red, but they were in the World Book. And those little nerves went everywhere in the body, all the way down to your fingertips, all the way down to your toes. And I'm not a physiology sort of person, but one of the things I do know is that there are messages being sent out from the brain to the nerves, to all parts of our bodies, but also there's information that's coming in from the nerves into the brain. So it's just a one-way process. I'm like, oh, mission control, I'm complete control, you're going to do whatever I tell you. It was like there's information coming in our bodies all the time from all sorts of places. And I also believe, based on my own experience, that there are certain parts of the brain. Again, I'm not one of those brain people, but so don't take this scientifically, but more metaphorically. There are parts of our brain or parts of our experience that only wake up when we move. So there are parts of our brain, I believe, that just don't work, aren't doing very much until we move or engage physically. Now, I don't know if do any of you know the sorts of things in your life, like if you do, like especially kind of repetitive things? Do you have anything in your life where it's kind of repetitive and you kind of notice that if you keep doing this over and over again, that your mental state and your body state starts to shift? If you knit or crochet or even doing the dishes or something like that, where you kind of move to kind of a quieter and more spacious place. Do any of you have those sorts of things in your life? Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the idea, that we do things like that, and it shifts how we are in our bodies. So the information is coming from our bodies, all the parts of our bodies, to our brain, not just in the other direction. You know, we have this construct of the body, mind, heart, and spirit as a way to understand our experience, and that has been helpful. I believe it's been helpful, but I also believe that we're over-practiced at that construct. That now is the time to break down the walls between the categories and to actually realize that some of our experience doesn't fit neatly into boxes. I'm a polymer clay artist at the moment. This is what I'm doing these days. And it's mostly the people that I'm with in the community are women. And some of my teachers, many of my teachers have been women. And some of them have talked about kind of the emotional basis for what they're doing. You know, what's the emotion that you want to try? And that's not exactly the way that I work. Like, I think of my experience as being more an aesthetic kind of response. But I don't know, I couldn't describe to you what an aesthetic response really is. I just know that I really like these colors together. I really like the idea of this plate and this, you know, I like this. I like this, you know, I like this. This is what and that's my approach to it, which is a little bit different, I think, than what other people do. But it's like there's that experience, this aesthetic thing that I couldn't really describe to you. I can tell you the things that I like. You could tell me the things that you like. I like this color. I like this placement. I think we should do it this way. I think we should do it this way. But it's all a bit mysterious. But we can have the fullness of our experience even if we can't describe it. One of the basic rules in interplay, which is this philosophy and practice that Cynthia Winton-Henry and I developed over the last 35 years or so, you don't have to be able to articulate an experience in order to have it. You don't have to be able to articulate an experience in order to have it. And we practice a thing we call easy focus. You know, I think we're pretty good focusers. You know, I think we're quite good at focusing, and we're asked to focus a lot. I think, and I think of it a little bit the way that eyes work. So I can look at you specifically. I can see everybody else kind of blurry, but you're in focus, right? Or I can look at you and you're in focus. Everyone else is a little bit blurry. So I can focus on one thing at a time. But I can take in the whole group. And I just invite you, just for a minute, to just experience in your own body the whole group of the people who are gathered here. Just feel that, even the people who are sitting behind you that you can't even see. And now I want you to take in the group of people who are also watching online. We don't even know where they are or who they are necessarily. But still, I can bring that into my body. Is that possible for you too? To have that experience of the whole, that's what we would call easy focus. It's like having to open up the field so that we can take it all in. And I think this is important to recognize that it isn't really just about my body. It's about all of our bodies and the world that we're living in, all of these things that are part of the world that we're in. We can't focus on it all at once, but we can have it. We can choose to have it. And we need it. We need it. We need each other. We need the web of connection. We need that body-to-body sense of I am with you, you are with me. And we can have that. And we can create it. As people of faith, we are called, I think, to move out beyond. Well, it's not really moving beyond our bodies, because I think our bodies extend quite far. I don't think I'm constrained by the envelope of my skin. we extend out. And we let the energy be shared, and we let the light be shared, and we let possibility be shared, not just for me in my own individual body, even though I think the best way to practice this is to know a lot about how your own individual body works. We can have the whole body. So I just invite you to think about what you already know about the fullness of your physical experience, to recognize how the parts all work together, how we can hold ourselves and we can hold each other in community and the world. Amen, and so be it.
We invite you now into the spiritual practice of generosity. Instead of passing the plate, you can give electronically by scanning the QR code on the back of your badge, or you can put a cash or check donation into the donation envelope that you'll find in the back of the pew in front of you. Write your name on it and mark offering plate or pledge, and then put it in the donation box beside the fountain in the atrium as you leave the service. Each week, half of the offering plate is shared with our nonprofit Good Neighbor organization, recommended by our wonderful Social Justice Council. Thank you so much for practicing generosity with UUCB and with our good neighbors. Offerings of any amount are accepted with gratitude. Our good neighbor for this month is Pogo Park. Pogo Park transformed 2 once-abandoned city parks in Richmond's Iron Triangle neighborhood, Elm Play Lot and Harbor 8 Park, using these transformed parks as vehicles for child development, community development, to providing creative outdoor play as a vehicle to spark and foster healthy child development. Thank you.
Woke up, it was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I heard was a song outside my window, and the traffic wrote the words. It came a-ringing up like pipes, Christmas bells a-wrapping up like pipes and drums. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day and we'll wear it till the night comes. Woke up, it was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I saw was the sun through yellow curtains and a rainbow on the wall. Blue, red, green, and gold to welcome you. Crimson crystal beads to beckon. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day. There's a sun show every second. Now the curtain opens on a portrait of today, and the streets are paved with passers-by, and pigeons fly and papers lie, awaiting to blow away. Woke up, it was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I knew, there was milk and toast and honey, and a bowl of oranges too, and the sun poured in like butterscotch and stuck to all my senses. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day and we'll talk in present tenses. Now the curtain closes and the rainbow runs away. I will bring you incense owls by night, by candlelight, by jewel light, if only you will stay. Pretty baby, won't you wake up? It's a Chelsea morning.
That was great. Please join me in dedicating our offering. We dedicate our offering and ourselves to the mission of this congregation to create loving community, inspire spiritual growth, encourage lives of integrity, joy, and service. Thank you. Now, if you're new to our church and you'd like to learn more about how to get connected, I welcome you to find any of the greeters at the welcome table in the atrium after the service. To find out what's happening in the life of our community, you can always check the news link in the homepage of our website, where you'll find our weekly email newsletter, The Week Ahead, which includes a list of activities, announcements, and contact information. This week, I have several I especially want to lift up. Our second assembly of blessing bags is happening today with our youth putting them together, working with SOS, Safe Organized Spaces, our good neighbor partner. Next Sunday, March 17th, Bay Area monologist Josh Kornbluth will be the speaker at our personal theology seminar. he will share some thoughts on empathy. You can hear him speak before the service at 9:30 a.m. in person and on Zoom. Your used plastic, paper, and reusable bags are needed by the Berkeley Food Pantry and can be dropped off in the orange bucket near the social justice table every Sunday before the service. Again, Reverend Porter's book will be for sale in the atrium. Proceeds go to our good neighbor, Pogo Park. And now an announcement from Lynn.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Cahoon with another wonderful opportunity for you to have fun and be useful at the same time. Do you have a vision of UUCB sparkling clean, beautiful, and welcoming? You can help make that vision a reality. Come to our spring cleaning work party next Saturday, March 16th. Help inside or out, and help make that reality come true. Help us be ready for Easter at the end of this month and the installation of Reverend Marcus on April 21st. Come anytime between 9 and noon. Bring the family or these guys.
Thank you, Lynn and company. We're counting down to the installation of Reverend Marcus, as Lynn said. Mark your calendars for April 21st at 2:30 p.m. for a wonderful installation service. That's 42 days away. All right, let's rise once more in body or spirit and join in singing our closing song, Let It Be a Dance. It's number 311 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be on the screen.
Through the good times and bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. Reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
you'd like to join hands or bump elbows or just find a little connection. You are not alone. We are one strong body, gathered in struggle, gathered in power, full of spirit and possibility. Let your body spirit shine in the world. Be a peacemaker and have peace. So be it. Amen.